This is Dennis Peacock with another edition of the Transforum. Hate speech, and fear. The principle that we're going to be talking about here today is this. Many people hate what they fear the most. Many people hate what they fear the most. In other words, the linkage between hate and fear is very close. Now, we've had the controversy raging across the Atlantic, in fact around the world, on the abuse of boys, homosexual priests getting involved with boys under their authority. And of course the attack has gone back on Pope Benedict the 16th, Joseph Ratzinger. And I have an article here, and of course they're all over the papers around the world, comparing Pope John Paul II, who was such a popular pope, with Pope Ratzinger, who is less than popular and a whole lot more theologically conservative. This is an article by Ross Douthat. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. He's a columnist for the New York Times, and he's contrasting the two popes. And basically he says the first pope was charismatic, very likable, he was a world personality, etc., but a poor administrator and apparently very lenient. Whereas Ratzinger, who is, I'm amused that they call him God's Rottweiler, he's perceived as being extremely administrative, very detailed, etc. And as they dig deeper and deeper into the scandal, there is some conflict, but there's a lot of evidence that Pope Ratzinger actually was one that was pushing these cases to a higher level of visibility to be dealt with within the apparatus of the church. All that being said, here's my question, and I'm not trying to be ugly. I just want to put it up on the table where it belongs. There's two groups that the West largely is afraid to address: the homosexual community and militant Islam. Why? Because they know both those communities have got a lot of energy, and they'll make you pay if you go after them. How do I know that personally? I've never really been much involved in the anti-homosexual thing. By the way, if you're not aware of this, homosexuality was just one of the many issues in the Old Testament that was viewed actually as capital punishment, including adultery or children that were recalcitrant and couldn't be fixed. So, a lot of people make a lot more of homosexuality in that context, even than the Scripture does. But be that as it may, I was involved in some controversy around those issues many years ago, and homosexuals started calling me on my home phone and threatening my children. Now, I wanted to meet them and offered to come and discuss it, but I couldn't find any that wanted to meet me. Why? What I'm saying is that the hate that is in different elements of the community, and you begin to poke that thing, you're going to pay a price. Anybody that was really publicly vocal on Prop 8 got at least the kind of trash that Nancy Pelosi has gotten for the health care bills. It comes out on both sides of the equation. Now, I'm not in any way justifying or saying that any of that stuff is good. I'm simply saying that what people fear, and a lot of times what they fear is judgment or being ostracized or being criticized or being held to an absolute standard of morality. That's what people are afraid of. This whole controversy makes me ask the question, not is the Catholic Church corrupt, but why isn't there controversy about putting young boys under the authority of homosexuals? That's my question. Hey, this is the Transforum, folks. Let's engage.